props here on PrizePicks for Friday, February 10th. Before I get started, there's a link in the description below to sign up for PrizePicks, or you can use promo code TUFF to sign up. PrizePicks will match 100% of your first deposit. There's also a Discord link in the description where the main server is completely free. We do also have that Patreon link where I do post all the plays I'm making on PrizePicks for each given sport that I do play. Again, I also do need to mention I'm not a gambling expert. It's not financial advice, simply just plays I'm personally looking at making, hopefully giving you guys some insight and analysis to make your own player prop decisions here. You guys, this video that I'm making is completely free. No one is expecting you or asking you, or you're not expected to tail these plays. Sometimes when these plays miss, I get comments saying I sold them, like I personally sold your prop, or I personally sold your parlay, which is insane to me if you think about that concept alone. But anyways, let's get into, you guys, two props that I do like here on today, Friday, February 10th. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. We do have a massive slate today. I think we're at 11 games today on the slate, which is, I mean, I don't think there's like 2 games on Super Bowl Sunday, so we're going to have a lot of games here. More specifically today and then tomorrow, and then obviously at the time of me recording this video, there are not a ton of props on the board yet. There's no fantasy score, no turnovers, no steals, blocks, things like that. So I think we're getting some value here right now, though. Let's go. So the first one I like is going to be Morant over 15.5 rebounds plus assists. For Morant here against Minnesota, first off, this game is a 6.5 point spread from Memphis at home. Mike Conley's going to be there for Minnesota, which I think kind of helps Minnesota. D'Angelo Russell kind of plays at a little bit of a slower pace, and Mike Conley is out there just trying to get his teammates involved and really initiate the offense here. But Morant in in games this season now without Steven Adams is out for this game. In games this season without Steven Adams, Morant has hit the over on this 6 of 8 times now. His 2 misses being a 13 and a 15. Before this 13 miss against Chicago, which I believe we took on Patreon, and he had like 0 RA in the first quarter and still ended up with 13. So I like the chances there with that. But 16, 21, 25, 21, and 16 and 17. He just played Minnesota back here on January 27th and on the road, and had 21 RA, 10 rebounds, and 11 assists in that matchup in 38 minutes. Now Morant game log this season against Minnesota, he's played them 3 times, 21, like I talked about just recently without Steven Adams, and then 2 games with Steven Adams, he had 11 RA and 18 RA. So again, at home against Minnesota earlier this season back here in November, he had 18 rebounds plus assists in that matchup, 10 rebounds and 8 assists. In the most recent game, though, against Minnesota, where he had 21, he had 14 rebounding chances in that game for 10 rebounds. Right, so he grabbed 10 rebounds on 14 rebounding chances, and he had an insane 23 potential assists for 11 assists. So, I mean, I think this is kind of bad luck. He had 12 missed assists here. So if he had 23 potential and only 11, that's 12 missed assists. I definitely think we get some positive regression here on that. I think there's a chance that, he gets 2, 3, 4, maybe more assists if he does get another 23 potential assists. But it's interesting here is that Memphis and Minnesota are both top 5 in the NBA in pace, right? Memphis is 5, Minnesota is 4, which is why kind of both times Morant, even with Steven Adams, has gotten over double-digit RAs in all 3 matchups here. But again, with Steven Adams, like, this goes up tremendously, like absolutely tremendously. And like a lot of people ask where I get the right, so this is a RotoWire, by the way. A lot of people ask about this, so I'm just going to do this live for you guys. So Memphis, right, if you take Steven Adams off the court here, right, and Steven Adams, and we click off the court, we'll even do it at home. Right, but just take this in. This is RotoWire. RotoWire basketball court on off is like the URL. So if you take Steven Adams off the court, per 36 minutes, right, Morant averages 7.8 rebounds and 11.2 assists per 36, which is essentially a 0.8 difference as far as rebounds go, and he averages 2.9 more assists per 36 minutes with Steven Adams off the floor. So it's a great spot here for Morant. Obviously, he has the highest usage on the floor, 36% usage with Steven Adams off the floor as well. So this is the first play, Morant over 15.5 RA. This, again, has some pretty good odds as well. Minus 133 here on Caesars. Minus 130 is consensus. If we take a look at previous lines as well, I mean, this was up to 16.5 both in 2 games against Indiana and Portland. Was down here at 14.5, and then was at 15.5, 15.5. So I like Morant here in a super fast-paced game. Should be quite a bit of opportunities for rebounds and assists for him. The second play I'm targeting is going to be Julius Randle. And I like his 38.5 PRA here against the 76ers. Now, I just personally think this is too low. I mean, there was times last week or even a few weeks ago, this was at 43.5. So we get it at a discount here at 38.5. I do maybe think this has a chance to bump up because people are probably seeing this value and taking it here. But, I mean, if you take a look at this, Julius Randle, PRA over his last 25 games, I mean, he's over this line in 22 of his last 25. His 3 misses, 37, 34, and 33. He's over in 22 of his last 25 games. PRA here. If we take a look here as well, what's interesting to me is that, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 of his 9 highest scoring PRA games come on the road. And if we take a look at Julius' splits, right, on the road, he averages more points. He averages 3 more points per game. 3 more points per game on the road than at home. He averages more rebounds on the road as well. So, I mean, he's taking more 3-point attempts, shooting better from the field and better from 3 on the road as well. I think they probably just ask him or they have him do more when they're on the road here. And it's a decent spot. I mean, against Philly over the last 30, Philly's giving up the most points to the power forward position. Like Philly has been getting cooked by power forwards all season long. I mean, if we take a look at the last 30, right? Philly, the most points to the power forward position over the last 30. But even over the last season, like, they're right here. They're still an easy matchup or considered an easy matchup. 1, 2, 3, 7th most points to the power forward position is Philly. And there's good odds here as well. I mean, decent odds, I guess. Minus 125 here, minus 120, minus 120, minus 120. But take a look. I mean, the over has hit 12 of 15 times when the line is set at 38.5. If we look at previous lines here, I mean, look at where these PRA lines have been set for Julius. Not really sure why we have it at 38.5 here. 43.5, 40.5, 42, 42, 43, 43, 43, 43, 43, 41. Like, it hasn't been this low in so long. Not really sure why. I mean, if we take a look at injuries, I mean, Josh Hart is maybe expected to play. Yeah, I don't know. He may not. He probably won't play. I don't know. He probably just got into New York less than 24 hours ago. He may play, but that shouldn't affect Julius's minutes too much here. And then, I mean, if we take a look here at his game log this season versus Philly, you know, he's played Philly, I believe, 3 times. And, I mean, he just played Philly 2 times at home and had 47 PRA and 40 PRA. And then he played Philly at Philly back here on November 4th. And he finished with 32 PRA at Philly. So, obviously, early in the season, Julius has been an absolute tear lately. This is just, like, the value, in my opinion, is too great, right? When we're looking at his last 25 games, we're talking about 22 of his last 25 games he's hit the over on this line, right? And twice in that span against Philly. Great spot here. We know Julius plays much better at home. I mean, look at these. Away. 7 of his last 9 games. 7 of his top 9 highest scoring PRA games over his last 25, all on the road. Okay, so these are the 2 plays here. PrizePicks NBA. I think we do have the PrizePicks free protected play as well, up to $20 on PrizePicks. So, again, if you're not yet signed up for PrizePicks, link is in the description below. Drop a like on this video, you guys. Hit that subscribe button. And as always, let's cash.